Okay, so how have I traveled to 25 countries in my 25 years of life? That is the question that I keep getting asked, so that is what I'm here to answer for you today. What's up, everyone? We're about to have some tea with tea. Maybe tequila. All right, we're out of tequila, but we had Jameson. So what's up? Welcome to my new humble abode. Y'all like my American flag. Everyone always gives me shit for it. Why does everyone always give me shit for that American flag? Like, I kind of like that thing and it's really warm. I always get this question, how have you traveled so much? So for those of you who don't know, I think I've been to like somewhere between like 24 to 25 countries from the age of 25 or up until the age of 25. Obviously the last year and a half, 2 years, we've been kind of stuck in place with COVID, but I'm actually about to leave in a few weeks, about to start. My list keeps on growing, baby. Take me to a new place. All right, but so I kind of dreaded, I didn't really want to make this video because I felt like it was just me kind of being like, oh, look at me, all over the world, a world traveler, doing all the things. And I kind of hate that. That's not the persona I want to put on, even though I did it pretty well just there. I wasn't looking forward to making this video because I didn't want to feel like I was kind of like bragging or like a subtle flex on anyone. Especially because like everyone is all stuck in their houses still. Although that's kind of like, that's kind of going away, right? Like people are getting out of quarantine. But anyways, I just thought I would sit down and kind of like talk about it. So you guys already know me. My name is Mattia Wills, if you don't know me. We got the Be More Hottie here. We are going to talk about it. How did I do all this at such a young age? Let's get started. So I actually have a list. Let me pull it up so I don't miss anything. I have a list about how many countries I've been to, or I keep a list just because that shit keeps growing. Like, yeah, so I always kind of keep one. Okay, obviously I was born in the United States, if you guys didn't know. I am American, as you can tell by my beautiful American flag. Stop giving me shit about it, I like it. So basically, how did I get this way? Like, how did I become like this? So from what I hear is that the first time I ever got on an airplane, I was flying to the south of the United States, like to Mississippi or something. And I think I was maybe 10, like 9, 10 maybe. I actually went by myself. The first time I ever got on an airplane, I was by myself. And usually kids are kind of like a little bit like nervous to do that. But so I flew to my aunt's house. So she lived kind of like across the United States. And I did that by myself. And I was really excited about it. Like I remember my mom, she was a little bit like, oh, are you gonna be okay flying by yourself? Because my mom's like a little bit scared of airplanes. And I was just like, I'm fucking going. I'm fucking going, Mom. Get me on that plane. So my mom, she even says like, I went on that airplane. I didn't even look back at her. Like I wasn't like, bye. I was straight up like, deuces, girl. I'll see you in a couple months. So I've always kind of just like been fascinated with different places and how people live their lives in different places. One thing like I always read, you know, in history, like being a jack of all trades, being like dibble dabbling in everything is super bad because then you can never become an expert in something. Well, it kind of fucking sucks because I love that. I love knowing a little bit of everything. I find that so fascinating. Like I want to become like, yeah, I want to try farming.
I want to go pick apples. I want to dig up a fucking archaeology grave.
I'm so fascinated by different things. Like I want to see a little bit of everything. I always come back to kind of like some type of video or art that I personally like to do, but I just love doing a little bit of everything, which is kind of, we read about that's bad, right? I don't know. Basically my international life, how did that start? I think when I was 14 years old, my mom, she took me on a cruise. which if you're kind of scared about going international or just like traveling outside of the United States or traveling in general, I guess, going on a cruise, I think is a really good way to kind of open that door because it's so put together. Granted, this was so many years ago, so I'm not sure how they are now. I haven't been on a cruise since. That was my only cruise. But we did go to, me and my mom, we went together. We went to Jamaica, Haiti, the Bahamas, all of that area. So we went there together, and I just remember being so fascinated, especially in Jamaica. Like, I had such a good time. At the time, my mom, like, this bitch almost got us killed. Like, she's the type where, you know, they're like, oh, stay in the resort. Don't go outside of the resort. It could be dangerous. My mom's like, you want to go outside of the resort and see the slums? And I'm like, fuck yeah, bitch, let's go. So we've always done some crazy stuff like that. To be honest, my mom is like not like that anymore. I'm surprised she was that cool. She gonna give me diss for this. Oh yeah, and we also went to Mexico. Okay, so Haiti, Jamaica, the Bahamas, Mexico. We had done all of that together. So I got bit by a fish in Mexico. Don't trust Mexican fish. So this is where it kind of all starts, I guess. So in my adult life, I went to university. At first I went out of state because, as you can tell, I'm very much like, I just wanted to get out of there. Already saw all Baltimore had to give me. But at the time I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to a university out of state, which ended up being super expensive. But at that university, I actually saw a flyer and it was like, teach English abroad after you graduate university. So that became my biggest goal at that time. I saw that and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Everyone has their own reason to go to university. Like, we get told going to university, we have to make money, which is a complete lie, as if you didn't know. Definitely, I think doing a trade is probably better off because you don't pay any of your student loan. You don't have student loans. So that was a huge lie. Anyways, I found my purpose to get a bachelor's degree, a degree in general. That was teaching English abroad. I was like, if I can get paid to go other places, fuck yes, bitch, what? Girl, yes, sign me up. Okay, sign me up. So that is where it all started. Basically, my idea that I'm not gonna live in America anymore. Like, I'm gone. The only thing American about me is my blanket. And I guess my blood, kind of. Well, not really, because I'm actually Italian, but my passport. I wanted to actually study abroad, but I was like, I'm poor. One thing, you know, people always ask me, they always assume, and then they kind of ask me once they get to know me, they think I'm a silver spoon. Is it a silver spoon or a gold spoon? Wait, I'm gonna look it up. It's silver. This is how you know I'm not. So, like, a couple people have asked me, or they said to me after a while, they're like, you know, when I first met you, I assumed you were a silver spoon. At first, I had no fucking idea what that meant. Actually, someone told me it in Korean. And I was like, what's that? A silver spoon? I'm like a plastic spoon, y'all. Like, what? No. Let's just get that out. Am I a silver spoon child or person or whatever the fuck you call it? Absolutely not. But thanks, like, y'all think that highly of me? Yeah, I get, people said like, oh, you carry yourself with such confidence, like if you failed, you'd be okay. So we assumed that you were a silver spoon, like you had no worries. And I'm just like, I have worries, but I just don't live, I try not to live that much in fear. I have worked not full-time, obviously. I've worked part-time, going into full-time hours since the age of 15. So I got my first job when I was 14 or 15, I think. Because I think you can get a worker's permit at 14. I got a worker's permit as soon as I could in Maryland. So I think I was around 14 to 15, and I literally had my friends, I couldn't even drive yet. I had friends drop me off to work and pick me up, or my mom if she could, or whatever. So I was working to make money from like over 10 years ago, which is crazy. Like, no one should be working this long. I don't recommend it. You know, if I needed money, if I was going to do something, I had to make it. that's it. I'm making my own money, right? And I wanted to as well because I wanted to do other things. Yeah, I got my own car. I bought my own car, like a used car. So that lasted me my entire time I was in the United States. I drove like a 90, I think it's a 96 Camaro. By the way, if you want to buy it, like hit me up because I still have it. Throughout university, my first year of university, I didn't work because I moved to a different state, and that was beautiful. There's a lot of hardships too, just like your first year. It was like my first year really like living with multiple people, like several roommates too. You know how the dorms, they just put you all in. But after that, when I came home, even for the summers and stuff, it was like I went straight to work again. And then from that moment on, I was working like two jobs, sometimes three jobs being like, you know, I had random things come up, like some friends like, hey, like I need a second photographer for this wedding, come hit me up. And at that time I would plan like a schedule around my work, so I was making as much money as possible. I also was like doing waitressing and bartending and things like that, which can make you a decent amount of money. It's actually really, really hard. Shout out to y'all that are still doing that. That's honestly a great job if you need quick money, but also shitty because you get treated like shit. But anyway, I was still living my life too. Like I spent a lot of money, but I was always making money. Like there was never, I was just constantly, okay, I'm putting money away, I'm putting money away, I'm putting money away. At such a young age where it was like, when I decided I'm gonna go abroad, I wanna take a trip to this place or this place. First, I wanted to go to Europe because who the fuck doesn't wanna go to Europe? Actually, I didn't end up making it to Europe until like 2 years ago or something. So my first place I went was South America because hello, baby, it is cheap. Especially the first place I went was mostly like Peru and stuff. And I loved it there. I think I would definitely live in Peru in my lifetime. Like that would be one of the countries I go back to. I already went back, like I've been there 2 times. It is amazing, but people don't realize is your US dollar goes farther there. So you're making $1 and when you go there, your money is like ×3 and the cost of living is cheaper. So your money goes even further and it's tripled or quadrupled or whatever that country is. So a lot of people, they're always asking me, well, how is it possible that you are doing all of this? Like, is your family giving you money? Are you rich? Are you, how? Like, how are you making money? And the answer is, no, I'm not rich. No, my family is not giving me money for any of these trips. And I just worked. And also, find countries where your money goes further. Like I wouldn't plan a trip to the UK for 4 months backpacking because my money wouldn't go that far. So these places I've been, like my money has went further than I even expected it to go. And I say that, and I'm kind of hypocritical because when I went to Italy, I actually spent a lot less money than I thought. But I'm also kind of the type of person where a lot of people, they book their trips through these like travel agencies and things from what I've seen, and I don't do that. Like I want to book a trip, depending on where you go, obviously you have to feel out the country, but sometimes like when I go there, I book a hotel for a certain amount of days and then I don't book a hotel. Obviously depending on the country, like if I know it's like somewhere where it's like I can see the hotels are completely booked up within the week that I'm looking, I'm like, oh, this place books up quick. But there's so many deals that you can find, even walking in a place and being like, hey, how much is it for one night? Looking at different websites and finding different deals like that, like you can find so much cheaper. One thing I also found was a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do a hostel. I can't do these types of hotels, especially in like South America. I don't want to share a toilet. I don't want to do this. Well, one, if you're really, really broke, you have to. And it's actually, you get used to it. But it came a time where I was like too bougie for this shit. And it's actually cheaper to book a hostel, get a private room in a hostel. If you're splitting it with 2 people, 3 people, whatever friends you're going with, it's cheaper than booking a hotel and you have all the things private. And usually they give you free breakfast at those places. So that's one meal that you're really not paying for. Also, what I've noticed, especially in South America, is their portions are super fucking big and the food is like natural foods. Like I guarantee the food is different here than it is in America. Like I'm eating real food versus chemicals. So your body reacts different. Anyway, like the food was a lot and it was like whole foods and it's it's delicious, and you can split one meal with 2 people. I don't know. I don't really like to split one meal with 2 people because I find it rude to certain restaurants. I definitely feel out the situation. You know what I mean? You don't want to go somewhere and be like, yeah, I'm going to take up this table and I'm going to split this meal with a friend. And then like the server's like, what the fuck? But also look up if you're tipping or not in these countries. For example, we don't tip in South Korea. Wow, I'm really white in this. It's really bright. For example, we don't tip in South Korea, which is nice. Because my money goes farther. And they actually work harder here as waitresses. I don't know how it works. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Anyways, I'm going off topic. Now I'm just talking about all my travels. I don't even know if you guys want to hear that. I hear a lot of people, they always say like, oh, tell me about this. I can tell you guys stories if you want about different countries I've been in. I've been through some crazy situations, some dangerous ass situations too. I always go to the extreme. Y'all already know me. Here's some advice. Here's my advice to you. 1, stop buying new cars. Y'all are out here, but look at me, I'm getting upset. Here is your 2018 Toyota Camry. Well, it's 2022. I'm sure you want a new car, right? Because 4 years have went by and you haven't even paid off that car yet. Probably you're gonna trade it in. That's never ending. You will always have that bill. That bill is just going to keep popping up for you. A lot of people, it's your choice what you want to do with rent. Obviously, everyone here, like, I don't have to tell you guys what you have to rent or if you guys have bought a house or whatever you're doing. Your investments, however you want to make money. I'm just saying, like, here are some reasons why younger people, they always say they can't do something. For example, I have some friends who are like, oh, I'm going to go here later in my life. Oh, once I do this, I'll go here. I don't live like that. I'm gonna go here first and then I'll think about doing that. Because like, if I would have bought the new car back in America before I left or 2 years before I left, what good would that do me here? I don't even have a car here. We don't need a car here, to be honest. Like, public transport here is probably the best in the world. Other places though, like, obviously it depends on the country. I've gotten by fine, like taking public transportation. Obviously you're not gonna buy a car if you're going to Thailand for like a month or something. Yeah, this is my advice would be to cut that shit out. Cut that out. That's not needed. Like, you don't need the new car. If anything, buy a used car. It'll probably take you further. I don't know much. It depends on, I guess, the state, and I'll lease a car. Like, as long as you have it to where you don't have this payment forever, I definitely would recommend that more because then you don't feel tied down. For example, I'm literally planning on leaving Korea. Obviously, I'll come back. But if I had all of these bills in Korea that were stacked up, how could I leave? How could I stop a job? How did I save money if I had this many bills piled up? So that would be the first thing. And the second thing is, just fucking do it. Just do it. Like, book your plane ticket and then figure it out. There's so many times I've done that. Book your plane ticket. I got my plane ticket. I'm going. I am going. I don't know how I'm gonna go. I'm going. The money will come. Truly. Like, you're working. I mean, I'm considering you're working. If you're chilling on the couch right now doing nothing, which I know you are because you're watching this YouTube video, but in your whole life, like, the money will come. Like, you're gonna have to save money for that trip and you're gonna be happy you did. The coolest thing to me about going into a different country, everyone's different. This is obviously just my perspective on things, is like the grocery store. I love going to the markets. Like, you find some crazy shit there, crazy stuff. So like, if you can't afford to eat out in these places, like, go to the market. I'm sure you'll find just as much crazy ingredients and food there as you would going out to eat. That is a pro tip. If I want to go to a cafe, I'm going to go to a cafe. Budget your money. To be honest, I've never had to budget my money, and it's because I don't spend money on dumb things. And when I say dumb things, I'm talking about things that aren't going to give value in my life. One thing I spend a lot of money on is electronics. The camera that I'm using right now. Actually, this was a present to me, so that's a bad example. Like, lighting that I have right now. My phone, my camera equipment, like stuff like that. Like, I will spend money on that because I know I'm going to use it. I like to use stuff like that. But if it comes down to me saying, like, I'm going to get this house and pay $2,000 US for it in Korea, and I'm thinking that's going to give me almost zero savings. Could I do it? Yes. But I'm going to just be wasting my money. So stuff like that, I just do not do. Recommendation. Where am I going with this? I'm just going to list the countries that I've traveled to, not for Is this a flex? I think I'm flexing. Sorry. I'm just gonna list them because I'm sure you guys are kind of curious. And if you have any questions, like you can ask me personally. A lot of you guys message me a lot about this. And if you want to hear a specific story about a different country, yes. So here is my list. Obviously, I was born in the United States. I went to Haiti, Jamaica, the Bahamas, Panama, Mexico, Colombia, Chile, Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia. I'm pretty sure I got deported from Bolivia. Well, I have a big like nolo in my passport that they stamped because I got in a lot of trouble there. I stamped out of the country. at immigration. So I was at immigration, which was at like a desert. It was like literally in the middle of nowhere. This is a building. So I stamped out of immigration in Bolivia. And I had just gotten this new like iPhone 6 at the time. And I was doing this 4x4 like 1 week drive through the salt flats in Bolivia. And if you don't know what the salt flats are, I will show you a video or a picture right here. That is the salt flats in Bolivia. So I was doing that, and we've been basically living in these different places. Like I stayed in a hotel made out of salt. Literally everything was made out of salt, the bed and everything. Like it was crazy. Obviously they put a mattress on top of it, guys, chill out. But like the table, the chair, it was insane. So, but all of our stuff was basically in this 4x4. I had put my phone in the back of the, you know how seats have that little pocket at the back? So I put my phone in there because I was sitting in this car for days on end, going different places, seeing all this crazy shit. Even like, you know, they have different like volcanic, what do I even call those? Oh my God, I'm blanking. Where like, it's like next to a volcano and it's like almost like a crater in the ground and it throws up steam. Why can't I think about what those are called right now? Oh my God. I keep thinking in my head hot springs, but that's when the volcano heats the water and then you go there, which I also did that. Can't really remember right now, but my camera died. I'm not even sure where, but I'm just gonna keep on going. Yeah, I've been talking a while and you guys are probably like, shut up. Are you guys even still here? If you're with me, like this video so I know that you liked it because you made it this far. Basically, I put my phone in the back of this car and the car left. So I ended up hitchhiking, literally getting a random ride back to the main city in Bolivia to go find this truck, like just suddenly find this truck. It was a fucking journey. If you guys want to hear more, I'm gonna just cut that story there. Long story short, they were not very happy with me in Bolivia because I was basically an illegal immigrant in their country, and they scammed the shit out of me there. So I have such a bad heart for that country because of that experience. Anyway, so Bolivia. Yeah, let me keep going on my goddamn list. Peru, Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, China, Japan, obviously South Korea, Taiwan, Italy, the Vatican, which is its own country. Some people don't know. Denmark, Iceland, Vietnam. Vietnam was the last place I went. Yeah, that was the last place I actually traveled to before Corona hit. So I was like literally in Vietnam and I heard about this virus and ended up coming back to South Korea and been here ever since because we've all been just riding out this whole time in our life. A lot of people, you're thinking you're going to go traveling later. Oh, once I get this promotion. Oh, once I do this. Oh, once I get this goal. Oh, once I get this goal, which is great if you're hitting your goals. But if one of your goals is to see the world or go do something kind of out of your comfort zone, it's going to be a lot easier to convince yourself why it's not the right time for you to go, and you will end up not going. And guess what? Time waits for nobody. So if you're not going, time doesn't care. You are going to age. You are going to have more responsibilities as you get older, especially if you make a family, get married, you have more responsibilities. So, and you may be sitting there thinking, well, I already have these responsibilities. I can't give you any help if you have a husband or a child, but what I can say is your biggest things that you spend monthly, try to see if you can cut them in any way. Because that's basically what I did, and it kind of gives you this sense of freedom. And a lot of people talk about this like being financially free, but it's really hard to be financially free if you always have a bill to pay. Now, I'm not talking about like, I have bills to pay too, right? Like you have your phone bill, you have your rent, you have your electric bill, you have maybe your student loans if you went the path that I did and went to university. But, you know, adding to those isn't going to help you. Like, that's obvious, but it's really easy to kind of be like, well, I deserve this because I work so hard. Well, I deserve a plane ticket. That's kind of how I always think about it. So yes, I don't know if this has been helpful or if I'm going to go back and edit this and be like, what the hell are you talking about? Honestly, this Jameson hit me like halfway through. I'm going to give a little life update because my plans also keep changing because plans always change. Last year I had kind of planned, well, when I finish, I planned on applying for a visa in Korea in January, which didn't happen because if you watch that video at the time, which I'll link, I actually say in that video how much the rules in this country change. So who even knows if I'll be able to apply. So honestly, didn't apply for that visa. But regardless, I was planning on going to like South America or Latin America again, Central America, anywhere around there, anywhere around there to kind of just explore. Like I need to get out. Like I'm just like dying to. I'm just going to go run through the airport at this point. I haven't bought any plane tickets yet because I'm kind of hoping right now to leave Korea, you have to pay a hell of money. Like you have to get a really, really expensive COVID test, like $200, which like $200 got me to Italy. Like that was the plane ticket to Italy from here. It was really, really cheap. So I'm thinking like, why would I spend money on a test that could literally go towards my flight? Like that sucks. So kind of seeing if they're gonna change that to see, because here they announce things like, oh, starting March 25th, there's this new rule, and they'll announce something like that. So I'm kind of waiting to see like what they say. Regardless, I'm gonna go. I am planning on probably this will be my last month here, and then I'll probably go somewhere else if the world doesn't like go against me. Like it has been for the last couple years for all of us, right? Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up because I feel like I've already talked enough and I'm just sitting here getting more drunk on this Jameson. So if I helped you in any way, I am thankful. If I didn't, I'm very sorry that you sat through this whole thing. I hope you had a little bit of fun talking to me in my camera. A lot of people, they always ask me about certain trips that I've taken. If you do have any, like, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up comment under this video. I'm down to talk about anything. Plus, your girl's got all the time in the world. All the time in the world. Anyways, guys, I hope that had helped you in the slightest bit. And I'm out. Bye.